Yeah, well, hey guys, thanks for joining. I'm gonna also start a YouTube live stream. Just give me a moment. I gotta open this up here, and I'm gonna, just make sure to post a YouTube live stream too, so at least it's out there for the public. But we got a lot of important details here to speak of because a very exciting next week is ahead of us. Oh yeah, okay. Seems like I cannot do a YouTube stream in this meeting, so it is what it is. Those who are missing out, they're gonna be missing out. All right, guys, let's speak of a couple different things here. Obviously, I'm gonna speak of only things that I can speak of publicly because I made this stream to be available to everyone who's following me, not just for bootcamp or not just one-on-one students. It's basically a public meeting. But we're gonna speak of gold because gold is what's most exciting for now. And as we know, anytime it goes to trading, we can only trade pairs that are actually getting interesting. Like, obviously, we do not want to trade the pairs that are not being exciting at that moment and not having volatility. Like, there's never a thing like you're only trading this or you're only trading that. You gotta trade whatever's relevant for this moment. Like if I would know that Bitcoin gonna be relevant for this moment, I would be of course focused on the crypto market. If I would know that the US stock market would be having some action in it, like anything that would be making it relevant, I would obviously speak of the US stock market, but because right now, with some recent situations that has been going on over the past week, and also last Friday, we gotta specifically dive into gold because this is exactly the pair that's gonna be moving a lot um, during the market open. So as the market is opening, I'm already expecting a significant move on it potentially. And on Monday, a lot of things can be determined of how we're gonna move forward towards the rest of the week. So let me show you the next thing. So let's see the chart. So this is what we see on gold at this moment. Basically, very briefly explaining what's going on. Basically, what has happened is gold has been in a very strong bullish market for a long time. It has been, pretty bullish for a pretty long time. At this time, we are also more towards the end of the year. So in terms of taking a look at a 1 year market span, we also gotta just understand it is the end of the year. And towards the end of the year, a lot of investors who've been in the market previously from the beginning of the year are also more prone to be exiting those positions that have been opened in the beginning of the year. So just take that as a side note, and I'm just mentioning this because it's very obvious if you look at the entire market. this is where we have been starting at the beginning of the year, right here. That has been the highest point. So basically, that's the beginning of the year. And you can most probably imagine that if right now some certain events would be happening, that is likely going to be pushing the gold market to be moving lower. I would be of course very comfortable switching my bullish bias and switching to a bearish side, because simply I can also understand that towards this time of the year, the market does have a slight higher chance of dropping a bit lower, because logically anybody who's been in a position here in the beginning of the year, they are already in a profitable position. And I'm gonna show you some fundamentals in a moment that is most definitely leading to lower prices. So basically, on the technical side, this is what we see. This is what has been going on, at least for now. I'm gonna take off the watermark. And also another thing on the technical side. So as we're gonna go here, another thing just to notice, and it's very easily noticeable, is on a more recent perspective, if you're gonna take a look at the half year, so this has been the half year, so this is literally the middle of the entire year. That's the only point where the market actually created the only final bullish momentum to the upside. And ever since the second half of the year has been starting, and we are heading towards slowly towards the end of the year, do you notice that the market is just not showing any more bullish momentum? Because, this high has been here. This high is obviously clearly being respected there. It's not showing enough momentum to be pushing higher. And also right now, this high will just being respected. Again, not showing any momentum to be pushing higher. So that's a trend we notice immediately. Like this high here, this is already lower. So it is very obvious to me the market is simply losing momentum to the upside. And this is only the technical side. We haven't yet spoke of anything regarding the fundamentals, but once I'm gonna show you the fundamentals, it's gonna be definitely very obvious of how bearish things are gonna be becoming pretty soon. So let's see the fundamentals. So I'm gonna go to Truth Social. So this is a social media application that Trump himself has been creating. So any sort of major market event or any sort of publishment from Trump, if you're interested in it, this is the website you want to use. So, some people follow Twitter. I do not use it personally because the events there are a bit slower. And if I'm keeping up with this Truth Social application, it does have a bit more updated events here. So what do we see here? So this is the main fundamental event that is interesting me. And we do perfectly understand anything the old man is gonna saying, it does affect the market very heavily. So it is simply a big market mover. That hasn't been with any other president previously. When Biden was in the market, no one really gave a shit if it's bullish or bearish. Anything that Trump is saying, we all clearly know it is going to be affecting the market very heavily. So, what am I interested in this? And like I mentioned, I'm gonna only speak of information that I can share to a public audience because, as I mentioned, this meeting is a public meeting. But what do we understand from this is potential likeliness for peace and less riskiness for investors. And what we see here is it's basically saying that he has been speaking with President Putin. That has been very positive with peace talks, and that has already been very positive. So that, of course, is one of the reasons why things have been already setting up towards the bearish side, because these people who are controlling the market, and obviously these individuals who are behind the market, they already set up things in a way that it is already the market itself is already setting up the direction before the event is published. So how do I know it? Because if I'm gonna look at here on the technical side once again, I'm noticing something that does become very noticeable is there's something as a psychological level and the key levels that the larger institutions are using. Like, us retail traders, we trade a bunch of different ways, but most of the time, the way the larger institution is going to be trading, we do have to understand they are only looking at one thing, and that is the key levels of the market, which is the round numbers itself. And of course, the economical events in terms of the interest rate, inflation data, and all of those different aspects. So regarding this, what catches my attention in the first place is this key level here, which is 3400. That's an institutional key level. What does that mean? Institutional investors and banks, hedge funds, those sort of traders, they are not plainly looking at the charts in terms of technical analysis. They are looking at the numbers of the price. What is what is a premium price? What is a good entry price? What is a discounted price? That's the only thing they consider. It's basically based on mathematical formulas like checking if the market is in a premium or in a discounted price. And basically, institutionals, they pretty much only consider the numbers in the market. Like they do not look at the chart itself. So for me, it is very important to consider this in the first place to understand that, hey, the market obviously made a massive freaking rejection there. It obviously happened, and this is all on the technical side. And right now, as I'm also noticing in the same time, that literally the entire momentum of the market is shifting towards a bearish momentum because I can purely understand that literally none of these highs are pushing enough momentum to go higher. It is literally proving us that the market itself is losing a bullish momentum. Everything is just trying to push it lower. And here, key level here is obviously just a final confirmation of it. And we can very easily, sort of like double understand from the key level here that things are indeed likely to be pushing lower. So as I mentioned, that is here on the technical side. It's very clean and very logical. And as I'm going here to the Trump announcement, which was announced on last, so this was from yesterday. Yeah, so this was from yesterday. We do have to also know another important thing, which is historically seen in the market for decades. We can see it every time. If we just look back at the market, it's going to be happening literally every time the same way. Every time there's a major global event, which is like genuinely a global event, it is always published on the weekend. So that is for me a major sign that this is an important event for me because I know that this has been published on the weekend. And literally everything on the technical side is obviously clean bearishness. Everything's gonna go lower. And this has been just confirmed on the weekend. And what else is this saying here? So this is also saying that they're gonna still speak with President Zelensky on Monday. So Monday afternoon. So Monday afternoon in United States time, so EST time would be like pretty much after the market is like towards the end of the day in terms of a trading session. So that's does affect a lot of things because let me tell you what it could be affecting. So obviously right now with this weekend event, market has a very high likeliness for the market opening to be bearish. and the day itself to be further bearish because obviously if President Zelensky gonna be meeting with Putin, potential positivity is expected by investors. However, once we get to that Monday afternoon time, that's when things could be unfolding in a different way. So all the way up onto the Monday afternoon time, I would be very heavily interested on the bearish market. Absolutely, I would be already looking at a potential selling trade as the market is opening. As long as I can find a good setup, I would be definitely going into a bearish trade. And I would be also holding my bearish bias the entire day through New York session also. And I would just only be paying attention to the market once again if it could be reverting oppositely, if the outcome of this Monday afternoon event is different. However, if this Monday afternoon event is going to be also confirming more positivity and a potential peace agreement, it is obviously bearish market on gold. That's the analysis of the global event. And right now, all of this is absolutely visible here with these exact reasons right there. And regarding the entry itself, I won't be going into the entry itself. It's not something that would be in the scope of this meeting of how to take the trade and those sort of things. But regarding a main market outlook, I'm already bearish on it, and if anybody's not bearish on it, you're just not looking at the market logically. And we could also say, yes, the market is speculative. End of the day, anything could be unfolding. However, with the most logical speculative understanding of it, it's very hard chance to be bearish. And I can absolutely confidently tell this to everybody that you gotta be interested in selling. And if you're not, you're missing out on a big selling opportunity. So that's my discussion on gold. Let's speak of something else. So gold is very clean. Let's speak of something else, guys. So I did mention last week that I want to be doing a challenge. I mean, so I get a bunch of messages that hey, people want accounts from me. Everybody wants a handout. It is totally understandable. But as I wrote on my story, I'm gonna be doing a competition, and whoever wins that competition, I'm more than happy to give you withdrawable cash. Like I have no problem as long as you win it, and as long as you can prove that you're a profitable trader. I'm more than happy to set up an account for you. You can even withdraw it. I do not care. But yeah, that's basically what I've been pretty much promoting last week. And I'm getting things organized for this so we can use a proper broker for that. That's fully a book. The competition has to be all published and documented with a public leaderboard. So I'm also getting a leaderboard set up. And the reward itself, I'm gonna just try to put the reward on the blockchain. So, it can be tracked. Whoever wins it, it can be all tracked. So everything can be legit as possible. But couple words from the competition. So what is it? They is gonna be looking like the entry gonna be, I think, to make it fair, probably it's gonna be like $500 for an account for the minimum entry. And whoever makes the most profit after 2 months gonna win the prize. And like I said, I want to make everything as transparent as possible, so just getting everything organized for that during this weekend. And when will it be starting? I'm still yet to determine when it will be starting, but probably next week or probably the week after. And I think the way the price would be working, like the first place, whoever makes the most profit would be getting like 100K real withdrawable cash. The second place like 25K, 10K like third place like 10K, something like that. So the top 10 will be rewarded, but everybody else will not get rewarded, of course, who's not in the top 10. So only the top the best. But yeah, I just wanted to let you know, guys. Um, but obviously the purpose of this meeting isn't just marketing this promotion or this competition, because I'm gonna let you guys know more details on it next week. Probably tomorrow I'm gonna post more information of how to be part of it, how to register. But it's basically simple as that. Anybody who makes the most profit gonna win the prize. Easy as that. All right, guys. I appreciate you guys joined. A very good meeting. And like I said, I'm gonna keep you guys updated on that competition of the 500 to flip challenge. And I'm gonna post more details on it. But regarding gold, just make sure to pay attention to what's happening with the fundamentals and the bearishness of the market. All right, guys, have a good evening. See you guys. Bye bye.